Right, that's just it.
Wikipedia. You're going to go against Wikipedia?
I want to know what the Hebrew...
I wrote that page on Wikipedia.
No, he wrote that before we got here.
He edited it.
Wikipedia.
He foresaw all of this happening.
Wow. I am just about
positive.
positive.
It can refer to the whole of humankind.
Okay. Because I'm just 99% sure that I've been taught that.
The human said.
That when we call him Adam, like the next chapter, he's going to become Adam with a capital A.
Mm.
That's an instance of us reading into the text. Like,
right.
The next chapter is actually an interpretation of the previous chapter without realizing it.
They want to know in the chat room where I found you guys. Was it from an agency?
What kind of agency?
A Torah agency. The Torah Scholars.
RussianBrides.com.
The Torah Scholars Agency.
LA Direct Models. Very sweet, guys.
No, there's an agency called Girls Talk Torah.
Is there really?
That's where we came
there
from.
Is now. I'm gonna go register that URL.
Girls Talk Torah.
Girls Talk Torah.
Hot.
That's hot.
Yeah.
I like the chat room. They always keep things on an elevated level. We've got the Torah
Shalom.
Inquirer.
Russian Dragon says shalom.
So, the whole gang is here.
Bet.
So, ladies, any more thoughts?
But this is where the whole idea of all of the different, like Lilith narratives come from, right? Verse 23, where he says, this time, she is it. As if there were other times, right? As if God had brought other drafts.
Right.
Like, isn't there, like, Jewish myth? There's, like, the first Eve and the second Eve.
Wow.
Why don't you tell the Lilith story to people who may not be familiar?
Well, there are a number of Lilith stories, but the idea is that, you know, this is people responding to this time. What do you mean this time? So then they say, well, what happened was there are different versions, but there was Lilith. God brought Lilith to Adam, right? But she was crazy and she couldn't be subdued.
Was she a succubus?
I think I've heard that. I think that's one version. But it's just one version. But she was like this demonic woman in some legends.
A succubus to Adam. I mean, that's not very nice.
Right. It's very strange.
The Eagles talked about witchy woman.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that Lilith was banished.
I mean, Adam basically, he said...
Yeah, he was like, no, I can't control her.
She's
I need
but
somebody...
not for me.
Right, yeah. Not for me. So then there was first Eve. She didn't work out. Well, haven't you read just like different Jewish legends, like Jewish myths, where like God brings one woman to him, and she's made of like hair and like mud and blood and stuff like that, and she's like, hello, I'm your partner. And he's like, no. And so God's like, okay, let me try again. This time I'll put like skin on. So yeah. I got this out of a book of Jewish myths.
No, sounds right.
That's super cool.
It's very interesting. But anyways, that's where the whole
That's what I'm going as for Halloween, I decided. First Eve.
First Eve.
Oh, that's so
beer.
Good.
That's so good. But yeah.
I like the Oscar commentary on chapter 3, verse 5, where the serpent has said to them, to Eve, you won't die. God knows that on the day you eat of tree of knowledge, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and bad. Mm-hmm. The Oscar commentary is, the serpent used another ploy familiar to those who try to rationalize the Torah away. They contend that those who convey and interpret the law of God are motivated by a selfish desire to consolidate power in themselves. So, I mean, that's the common argument against the rabbis and kashrut certification agencies. Wow. They're just trying to seize the power for themselves and make us pay a toll.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I see the logic behind the argument.
That's the argument of the serpent. According to the Oscar.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
I mean, it questions, like, what is the capacity of divinity, right? You'll become like gods, knowing good and evil. You know, it's not being able to do anything about it, but you have knowledge of what is good and what is evil, as opposed to the power to stop it.
You will be like divine beings.
Oh, yours says divine beings?
Yeah. Which I understand is referring to them. You'll be beings who are like the divine. But yeah.
There's very little in the Jewish tradition about this being a fall.
Right. It's
And
not a
we
fall.
were raised-
Christianity calls it a
You
fall.
read this and you go,
Yeah,
it's obvious that we need Jesus, right?
Right. Because we fell. We
We
fell from
fell.
grace. Within Judaism, it's an expulsion. It's like this in and out movement as opposed to up down, which I think is very, very interesting.
Right, and cast out.
Yeah.
Of fallen.
Yeah, it's like you're cast out of the community, you know, as opposed
You're cast out of ignorance.
Right. Yeah, that too.
What are you laughing at?
I was just thinking about, the old truism, ignorance is bliss.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I always think about that when I read this because it's life was so much easier and simpler, more peaceful and pastoral before the knowledge of good and evil, right?
Right.
I always feel like the more I know, the more confused I become and the unhappier I become because it was so simple back when I was a Christian, and it was just a matter of accepting Jesus, and everything's great, and you go to heaven.
Right.
But see, life, it's not that simple.
Right.
Right, back to the responsibility thing.
Yeah. My mom and I are always arguing. She's saying, life is not that complicated. Religion is not. God is not that complicated, Monica.
Right.
And I'm saying, no, He is. You know, He is. Life is not that simple. God is not that simple, Mom. But sometimes I wish I were back in the place where it felt simpler, because it's just easier. It's an easier
Or just
place
like
to live.
childhood. I mean, this is this is childhood where
Right.
your parents provide for you, and
You're not really responsible for your actions.
right. But almost all the time I was a child, I couldn't wait to be an adult.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
That was the opposite.
Really?
I was terrified of growing up.
Really?
Terrified. I mean, I remember being small, like 5, 6 years old, and just thinking, God, I really wish I was a baby again. It was so much easier.
Really?
So much easier.
So
Really?
When I was an infant, and I didn't have to worry about all of this.
Oh my gosh.
Drama,
Wow.
Yeah, like vivid memories of having these thoughts of being like, I wish I could just go back when I was like, first grade or something.
Oh wow.
Life was tough.
Yeah,
I
I
bet
was
you
like,
would
you
cry.
know,
Did you wish you were?
I wanted to be an
infant again?
adult.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I can
most-
I think most kids are so eager to be, treated
Yeah.
like a grown up, and get to stay up later and. Get
Are
to,
you a youngest child? Do you
No.
have siblings?
Yeah, I'm the older.
You're the oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Oh.
Oh man, I remember really like investing a lot of time in the fantasies of if I could just go back and like be swaddled, Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes.
Wow.
And what would you guys say were the happiest times of your life? Was it infancy?
I loved college.
College?
I loved college. I was very happy in college. Yeah. That's like
Why?
initial response. Because I was free but still protected, I think. And everything was open to me. Whatever I wanted to explore. Whether it was socially, whether it was academically, intellectually, I could do it. I was in a place where it was just like, whatever road you want to go down, it's cool. And it was probably the first time I ever truly felt that way. And it was just like, it was phenomenal.
How about you, Monica? What was like the happiest time of your life?
I can't think of a long period that was happy.
There were ups and downs in college.
Can you
I
think
can
of a
think
short
of like
period? Can you think of a
the
short
longest period I can think of where I was just really happy was maybe like a 5 or 6 week period.
And what was
Because
that?
I'm